Got a 1979 CJ. Putting a 4-liter EFI from a YJ into it. I'm going to convert it to manual transmission. This was an automatic. It actually had a Chevy 350 in it, but it was pretty tired and beat. It was automatic. That was the automatic out of it. But this is a 4-liter that's really ran good out of the motor. So basically you have to use the 4.2 motor mounts off the straight 6 79. They bolt right in on the frame rails. And I had to modify the bracket just a tad for the oil filter to clear. Other than that, you also have to change your position on the motor mount. To here, I had to drill and tap a hole on one of the sides here and to put the bolts in correctly. This is my budget build. I got a donor vehicle that was hit for less than $500. So this is going to get converted to hydraulic as well. I basically took all the pedals, the ECU, the wiring. I'm not using the transfer case out of the YJ. I'm going to be using the Dana 300 for this swap, and I got an adapter coming. Had to change the pedals out to manual as well as hydraulic. This has been kind of a pain in the ass to do, but we're getting there. Every day makes progress. So basically the next steps I'm doing is going to get the transmission transfer case mocked up for the skid plate mounting. I'm going to do the clutch. Well, obviously, if you're doing a motor swap, you probably should do a clutch while you're all there. Waiting on some sensors that were broken off this motor, and probably I broke them as well putting it on. This Jeep has some upgrades onto it. It's got the Skyjacker already on it. The frame's really cherry on it, so I'm going to redo all the brake lines and clean this all up once I get the motor running and going good. The other challenge I'm going to have is converting this from mechanical fuel pump to EFI. So I'm going to have to do an inline fuel pump, high pressure for I think it's 45-50 PSI this motor runs. So I'm debating on whether getting a firewall mount and taking these lines and bending them up into here and trying to figure out, or just doing new steel lines all the way back. Haven't got there. I'm going to delete the air compressor, or the AC compressor, and I'm going to put power steering on it, but that's down the road. Right now I'm just trying to get this thing back together. I really want to drive it for the summer. We're at the end of April here, or getting to be April here very soon. But yeah, this has been a fun little project. I picked this Jeep up pretty much for hardly anything, and the guy blew the motor, so the transmission was kind of tired to begin with. So it's got a lot of good mods onto it. It's just what I've been looking for. Body's in fairly decent shape for its age. A little bit of rust on it, but it's very minimal. The pans have been done on it. The tub is really good shape on it. It's all been redone. I'm going to probably rhino line it once I get the motor all running. It's going to be a fun project. I mean, they've done some upgrades to it. It's going to be a nice, clean running, no issues. Fuel injection. It's going to be just, those 4 liters are bulletproof. So, this motor had pretty low mileage on it. It's been one owner dealer service for the most part, most of its life. So it doesn't look the best right in this moment because it was sitting for about a year, but I know this thing will start. I know the mechanical record on this thing. It's just a matter of getting all the wiring bolted in. But this is a project, and this Jeep is going to be fun. It's got the body lift already on it. I'm just doing this out of my garage, so I don't have all the tools to do it, but I'm making it work, and this is the excitement of a project, I guess. But yeah, I haven't seen too many swaps online. This mount is the one that I think I had to drill it out. I had to tap, I believe, this hole here, because this is the original mount. Goes this way. on the 4-liter, but it sits nice and level. I mean, the block of wood's in there just because I don't have the transmission. I don't want this thing teetering, and it's just resting in there right now. I haven't put the nuts on it just because I just barely put it in there the other day. A lot of people keep on telling me, yeah, it'd be easier to do carburetor, just slap an intake from a 4.2 in this and make it run and a couple wires here and there. But you know what? I really want it to be a reliable rig, and I want it to be, turnkey and run. And, I just don't want any carburetor issues if I decide to go off-road. And, some of the challenges I've heard with carbureted rigs is if you're on its side or rock crawling or something. Not that I'm going to be doing any of that right now, and I'll probably just be a little grocery getter for a while. But, the EFIs are just made to be able to get the better fuel economy. Plus, it's going to be, also pretty reliable. But I wanted to do the axle swap from the YJ, but the YJ donor was hit pretty good. So, I'd rather just keep these axles. These axles, nothing wrong with them. The suspension's pretty decent on it. No issues mechanically, and it's already got the lift in it. So just one less headache to deal with. Not that I'm not getting any more headache in doing this conversion, but this is going to be a fun swap, and so far it's been fun. Hasn't been too hard. A couple of issues, mostly with the motor mounts. Was trying to figure out how they worked, and read a lot of forums, and not too many people have really documented how these things go in. But it's very easy. I mean, if you got a little tap and die set, you can tap it out. Forgot what the size was, if it was an M12 or what, but I still got to get the motor mount bolts. So I only got 2 holding it into my motor mount because I lost a couple bolts here I bought those mounts offline. Right now I'm doing the hydraulic conversion because I'm using an AX15 transmission right there. So this is the Dana 20 that this originally had in it, made it up to that GM transmission over there. But this thing's, it's pretty good shape for its age and stuff, and it still works great. But basically, that transfer case is just more, just rugged. And, I think with the advanced adapter or the Novak adapter to the bell housing on that, or on the tail shaft on that, this thing's going to be great. And I already swapped the automatic pedal out and that everything bolted right up. The only issue I had, because this was automatic, was basically where the rod comes through, which I'm going to have to clean that up with a die grind, is the bolts for those pedals for the clutch side of it. But it seems like there's going to be no clearance, barely clearance, it should be no problem with the clearance on that. But yeah, this has been a fun project so far. It's been pretty decent. Been a challenge. Everything is nothing been bolt in, plug and play. It's been a little customization on it, but it's definitely Ford and a moderate to intermediate type of automotive guy to do this swap. I mean, I wouldn't say an average Joe can do it. You got to be somewhat mechanically inclined to do this. I think once I do the wiring harness, I'm not sure. I got the wiring diagrams, but the wiring harness is going to be just a matter of getting all the sensors hooked up, getting the O2 sensor, because that's I got the pipe over here. I just got to make at least reclamp it back on there, and wire this all up, and then figure out the connections from the CJ harness to the ECU side, the fuse panel on this side, of what needs to make this thing run. It shouldn't be much work on that. It's going to be just more or less taking out the stuff I don't use or don't need, and it's going to need a fuel pump relay, for the fuel pump. So I'm going to have to run wires to wherever the fuel pump decides to land in this thing. But I want to keep the CJ basically stock looking with basically a resto mod of some type. Have the 4-liter High output. This is the high output, and you know, this is going to be a really reliable motor. I'm not too worried about this motor. You know, it's going to definitely haul once it gets going, but no clearance issues so far. I think it's been really, really. I'm very happy with it so far. So I'll keep you posted on what's going on once this thing gets swapped out and done. But then after that, I'll probably do, you know, get this thing painted up and really done up nice. I'd like to keep it the red and black. I like the red and black look. You know, probably do some upgrades on that. But, you know, once my goal is just to get this thing running for the summer right now and working my ass off trying to get it done. So, but I'll keep you posted.